Let me see. I think I sent you.
Oh, maybe you did. Let me see.
Yeah.
Maybe- Oh yeah, that was a few days ago. Do you still want to look at that one, or do you have any better one to look at?
Oh, that was a new one I sent you. The one I edited.
Let me see. There was, yeah. So it's on. Yeah. Oh, is it in the dock? Maybe. Give me a second. Maybe I will check the dock real quick.
Oh, I just sent it to you.
Oh, this one. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was that one from a few days ago. Okay, perfect. We can start with that one then. And yeah, what do you think about that game in general? What do you feel like you struggle with in there, if there is anything?
Uh, Let me think. Oh, like making mistakes, I guess, and going in front of. I don't know.
So is
I
that?
guess taking too much main poke sometimes.
I see. So it's kind of along the same lines as what you talked about before: timing problems, target priority, maybe stuff like that,
Yeah.
or
Mm-hmm. It's about
okay.
yeah. It's that.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, let's take a look. I think we probably will take a look at the themes which we suggested to look at. Yeah, just something related to timing. But if there's gonna be anything else, what I notice, we can take a look at that too. That's okay. Just as I mentioned, one theme at a time. We probably will just start with one of the biggest ones we see here. Okay, can you see the stream?
Yeah.
Perfect. Maybe is there anything what you want to mention as well before we start, or we good to go?
At the moment, I might say something if I see it.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so this is you, right? Yeah, same name, Box.
Yep.
Okay, and we are on. Well, this is okay map for you. I think might be slightly hard to play on defense, I would say, but still
Yeah.
doable. Let's see how the game is gonna develop. So far, it's just been you playing Tracer only in here, right?
Yeah. I'm just a treasure one trick. Yep.
Yeah, 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 perfect. Love the spot. Okay, it's a good start. Just waiting, good patience. Can you remind me what the rank is that? Is it Masters?
Yeah.
Okay, Masters 5. Or.
Masters 3 right now.
Oh, Masters 3. Okay, perfect, perfect. Now let's keep watching. So we do start in the good flank there, and then kind of just staying on this left lane, which makes sense. And after that, looking to commit, recall out. Okay, let's see how the fight develops later on. Then we are fighting from the left side. It's good. I like the angle control in general here. Yeah, we kind of just keeping our lane and keeping the enemy busy from that lane. So this is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, going back a little bit. Yeah, it seemed a little bit complicated in here because the resources are low. Okay, still have the uptime. That's fine. First fight went okay. Yeah, let's just wait until any problems gonna occur. Do you remember? Is there a specific point where you feel like you had more problems with the tracer, or
Oh, with this one, no, not really.
not really? Okay.
Mm-mm.
So far it goes kind of smooth overall. The first fight is sort of okay. You also need to mark the tracer a little bit here. That's fine. Just trying to deal with them first. It's okay. And going out, trying to live. That's perfect. Get an HP pack. That's fine. I would
Oh
maybe.
yeah. Yeah. I started
Yeah.
noticing the cast was tunneling me a lot.
Yeah. 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 So it kind of starts around here because of the. Just. They also might expect you to probably be back in here. They saw you
Mm.
coming in from this spot. But yeah, what do you think is a better decision would be? So it starts around here when you make a decision, right? Kind of start committing, which maybe can make sense, but it's just the way we peak that guy as well. I think they might be expecting you coming in from this angle too. So what do you think? Is there anything to readjust?
Well, I kind of he wasn't even looking at me, so I kind of just blinked at him to see if I can get like a bit of chip damage on him.
Right,
But
right.
the payload, as soon as the payload got in his way,
Yeah,
it was the timing of that.
yeah, yeah. So you see, the thing is, and it's kind of along the same lines as why we might take a lot of poke. It's pretty specific to those more well, honestly, any characters, but especially hitscan characters, because they can hit you instantly. The idea is, if the character with a big burst knows where you are, then you gotta change your angle slightly. And why they know that you're here is because you blinked in, right? But if you look from their POV, let's just look at them, you will see why it's so much easier for them to just deny you, right? Because see, the way we are going is starting from point 1 to point 2, and it's almost a straight line, right? So they don't have to move the crosshair as much, but potentially, if you challenge them another way, if they have to move their crosshair more, then you get an extra advantage. So I'm also maybe not a big fan to exactly in terms of confidently peeking from here right away. In that sense, that's because of it. Yeah, because they might know that they're coming from there, so they might poke you down instantly. But see, especially here, when you blink in the same direction, where you kind of end up in front of them, might be not the best. So how to readjust your blink in here so it makes it harder for them to aim? What do you think? How do you need to blink?
Oh, right there with the walls or a little middle
Mm-hmm.
part.
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
can get on top of payload. Then I can
Yeah.
just be making the 180 and I
Yeah,
cover me cover right where he is.
yeah, at least it's kind of always going to the sides, typically, right? So it's
Yeah.
harder for them. If possible, if you can make them look around, like do 180 turn, it's even better. But even with 180 turns, it's not the best. I would say to blink directly behind them, but it's always better to end up on the side. So it just depends on the scale where you are. So if you kind of break it down, you typically want to choose this, let's call it, I don't know, there's side 1, there's a side 2, there's a 3, there's a 4, generally speaking. You want to end up somewhere on the side, depending on where you're coming from. Ideally, this 1 and 4 works the best because it's behind them, so they have to make an additional turn. And because it's on the side, their muscle memory, for their muscle memory, it's going to be harder to exactly hit, because a lot of players, they have good muscle memory to do 180 turns, or, well, maybe like 90 turns, perpendicular turns as well. But with this on the sides, it's much harder usually. So if you can end up somewhere, in your case, it's just at least like towards 3 or 2 in our case, then it's much better. Yeah. But
Mm.
I'll just put it this way. I'm just gonna write it down. Blink management in our case. Yeah. So we, first off, if Big Burst knows where you are, Big Burst character knows where you are. If they're gonna know where you are, you need to readjust. Okay. And with how you readjust, you need blink on this side. Yeah, that's how I would put it. Yeah, does it make sense so far, or any questions about all of
I
that?
already know.
Yeah, perfect. And especially here with this second peak, right? They exactly know where you are coming from, and you can peek that. Let's say you would peek that. Let's say you maybe have additional blink at least, maybe, and you have the pulse bomb too, right? So it makes it easy for you to maybe challenge this guy. How do you need to peek them? What do you need to do right here?
I guess I could have just forced them to come to me.
Force them to come to you. One solution, I think. Why not? Yeah, maybe sneak around the corner. Again, they probably will try to take a look. Let's say you want to pick. Let's say you want to be more proactive. Then how you would do that?
Oh, blink to the cover. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. You just start with the blink first. Yeah, so instead of them having the crosshair here where they expect you, right in the corner, we go in somewhere to the left side here, and then it makes it easy for you to do the pulse bomb. Even I think even here, even though you don't have your blinks fully, you still have the pulse bomb, so it's pretty high threat for them, and there's nobody who can kind of follow up on that. So this is okay-ish, I would say. You can try this out possibly, but yeah, still be careful. Be careful. Maybe regaining one more blink is gonna be more consistent. Usually, you always want to have that one last one for an escape, if possible. Obviously depends, but yeah. Yeah, so far, the what you mentioned was target priority. I think that made sense. The positioning, the way you control the lane, I really like that. You keep the flank option. That's great as well. Yeah, you're kind of always looking for the flanks. Yeah, here again, starting the flank. Not sure about the timing sometimes, but we'll talk about that though later on. Okay, let's see how this is gonna go. You should have an advantage. You have HP pack as well. And just be careful. Okay, fine. Now just the trace is down, and you can go on the flank again. Sure, that works. You have an advantage, so it's not too bad if you peek first, but still be careful. Okay, Trace is fighting us. We have an HP pack. You might force them out as well. Maybe force them in the room, fight them. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Yeah,
This is this
just
is
get caught right here.
yeah. Like this is better. You sort of blinked on the side. You're trying to challenge them first off. You kind of go on right side, so it messes them up.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was trying to blink to a little cover behind me, but I kind of blinked
yeah,
into the wall.
yeah. This is an unfortunate one. Yeah, for sure. If you end
Yeah,
up here, then why not? Maybe you can regain a little bit of a advantage this way. They still
yeah,
miss at the end. I think at this point it's just important. Once they commit the roll, probably at least recall. But yeah, I think let's just okay. Let's say just generally speaking, look at the timing of what we do. Because you did mention that, well, sometimes you're not sure what to fight. Do you fight the kill zone in a way? Yeah, what your team does? Or do you fight isolated target? I think most of the time, because you're playing Tracer, you're really good at fighting isolated targets. I think overall you can do that whenever, if position allows you to. If I'm set up and there's no one else to fight, like this isolated target, I think that's completely fine. But let's say I'm set up only to. Well, maybe in theory you have two options. You either fight towards the kill zone, or you fight this guy. You just kind of choose what is more killable and valuable at the same time. Yeah, killable, it just depends on what abilities they have available, yeah, what cooldowns, HP, and valuable depends on the resources as well. Just maybe they have ultimate, yeah, that is something what's valuable. Maybe if we shut it down, or if you know that there's valuable cooldown, you guys need to force out, then it's fine. But now, I think it's okay-ish. Yeah, what do you think, actually? Fighting this person is good enough, or would you need to really fight together with your team in here? What's your thoughts?
mm, I was able to force out TP from Kiri,
Yes.
and I guess Cass was out of the fight, and I guess I kind of took out some cooldowns from Kiri
Yeah.
to be able to help my team out. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think you can go on the missions like that. It also feels more less comfortable when you have less options to blink inside the buildings like that.
yeah.
So might be if you're starting out here, not the best to try to fully commit inside the building anyway. So in this case, why not? It's okay. Just maybe the how you approach this can be adjusted with the blinks a little bit more, but it's okay. Right, they can
Oh, right
fight.
here, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, this guy knows that you're here. Well, it's kind of a little bit awkward situation too because we don't have blinks, but we end up in the room of where the enemies might be potentially. It's a little bit more difficult in here. It's especially when they have an advantage, right? You lost one member, so they will try to push in, take space. So not sure. Well, what do you think at this point? What your decision should be then?
Oh, I took fully left
Just took fully left? You mean all the way left or like this window or something?
below.
Oh, be okay, yeah, but well, yeah, this can work potentially. Yeah, just a starting angle. Then he can maybe fall back to here. That's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Or like as soon as I got there, the cart would have been kind of like in the middle, and I could have used that as cover, and I could have blinked right where the other health pack is.
Yeah, maybe. You see, I think it's just mostly with reading the situation, what kind of space they got. Yeah, they got certain space, then you need to readjust accordingly because they've been fighting for the building. You saw that. They're also playing Brawl comp. Most likely they will try to fight for more enclosed spaces. So if they done that, they kind of set up. Yeah, they fight in, they try to take space, and then they control space. Kind of two stages. If they're at this stage, you need to consider to approach it not how do you put it, you cannot go full in the space which they controlling right now. You need to approach it slowly in a way, so you set up somewhere, I don't know, you set up here, I can start approaching this space from here, or I can set up here, approach this space. Okay, so how, as a general idea, how would put it, And I'm trying to think. Maybe I would write it down this way. If enemy is under control of certain space, okay, then you need to try to approach it from just slowly from different space. Yeah, you cannot go full inside that space. Yeah, just make sure you build your way through slowly. Maybe force out some resources, and then after that it's gonna be easier. Especially versus the brawl, you need to take your time. Usually, it's just a side note. Yeah, versus brawl, play a long fight. You really cannot get a lot of kills. I think you can force out a lot of cooldowns or get kills only if the person is isolated, like Day Tracer isolated. Pretty good kill opportunity for you. Or you can fight a Cass. I think it's also gonna be actually you can also fight a Lucio too. Good Lucios at the high rank, they will probably try to fight you together with the Tracer, so keep that in mind. But you have orbs from Zen, so maybe it's kind of a little bit of equal fight, but still they might have an extra advantage. Yeah, do you have any questions about anything what I mentioned so far, or everything's been clear?
Things been clear.
Okay, okay. Yeah, let's continue then. Let's see. Okay, we got get the spawn, trying to fight again, take a long fight, and you're gonna be okay. Just mostly force out or whatever. The Suzu, the bubbles, maybe. If you can force out the ultimate, it's pretty big, but yeah. The only kill opportunities is something what's isolated or use a lot of cooldowns. Okay. I think it's fine. As long as you surround the bro like this, you're going from this angle perfectly fine. Not sure about this here. What was your thoughts in there? Do you try to you try to commit for the pools play, or what was
Yeah.
that about?
Play.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't see the Suzu yet, so I ain't risk it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of
And plus, I was like trying to test water.
Yeah. I'm just okay. Why I'm not big fan of that is
Mm.
because the commitment with your recall is pretty big. I'm okay with this previous recall, right? Because you have time to get another one, so you kind of go in. Let's see here. You go in and then out of the fight real quick. Maybe you get a kill, maybe not. Or at least you force out something like the Zarya bubbled for whatever reason, right? That's fine. But then when the brawl phase comes in, and there's about this timing here, right? Yeah, when you fight this brawl team, I think it's really important to time your recall in this way, so when most of your team is able to fight, then you need to be ready to commit your recall in a way so it allows you to get more value. It's kind of like you look at your team, you see the spike of pressure. Okay, so there's a spike of pressure because most of my team is able to do stuff, and this spike of pressure, this is the moment when you know, okay, I need to search for opportunities to look for the recall this way, so it adds up to the spike of pressure value, right? You cannot just go in, test water, sort of like do it this way, you have low spike and then out, because your team is fully engaging, right? But how do you recognize that? Yeah, let's see. Well, what do you see? How do you know that your team is under big pressure, so you need to commit your search for opportunities to commit your recall in the fight more actively? Well, high quality recall, let's put it this way. What do you see?
I see my team kind of being passive a bit. Then I guess I timed it wrong since my Ursa started going in.
Yeah. So see, it's just this turn, right? It's pretty close to the enemy team. They've
Mhm.
been passive, but this turn is still pretty close. And maybe some of the things for you to look at is just when you time the pressure, any big stuff your team is about to invest, right? So if you look at your team comp, just in general, what is that big stuff you can play around, maybe defensive, let's start with defensive, which your team will invest, which is a good sign that there's a spike of pressure happening, that your team is actively engaging. What do you can look at in general? What do you think?
I guess my Ursa used her one of her cooldowns with the
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's
Mm,
Orisa's Fortify. Yeah?
mhm.
Yeah, this is one. And what about the other ones, potentially?
Mm, to be honest, I don't really see it. I mean,
Well, in theory, what other big cooldowns do you also have? Defensive ones.
oh, the lamp.
Yeah, the lamp, right? Just something to look at as well. If you know the fight is developing this way, so most likely the lamp will be used. Maybe they're in position to do something, right? It just makes it easy. So why I'm asking that is so it makes it easy whenever you try to decide to engage and invest your resources. Then
Mm,
looking at your big defensive abilities, whatever is available, whatever might be end up being used, you're trying to sink the pressure with that a little bit more. So in this case, because your tank is usually initiating, I think it's fine if you sync with Spotify a little bit more. And this is exactly your spike of pressure. This is where you kind of commit, shoot, and then you commit in this sense. So you recall only when there's a spike of pressure. If you recall before the spike of pressure, then you lose value. So a lot of pressure goes towards your other teammates, and you're not able to kind of turn the attention around because you don't have it, right? So, and that's why your reset dies. But if you put an extra pressure from another angle, when there's a spike of pressure happening, maybe you do the pulse bomb whatsoever, yep, because, well, it's just high quality recall this way, then this Orisa might survive, right? Because you split the attention. Like the same thing as what you did before all the time. And just do it at the right time. Exactly. Yeah. Uh, yeah, does it make sense?
yeah.
Yeah. So far it feels from what I see so far, like 5 minutes to it's more a blink management. Oh, sorry, resource management. Yeah, blink, recall, just knowing how to time. Yeah, time with spike of the pressure in a way. Blink management. Well, kind of mentioned some of the specifics on that too. I think should help out a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's continue. And so far, you're flank a lot. You're pretty confident. You staying there and just maintaining that. I like that as well. I think there's no problem. You patient. You're not fighting enemy all the time. In a way, there's a little bit awkward time there. I think they notice you. That's why, or what happened there? Yeah, you recognize that your team is a little bit too far. That's why you blinked, or
Yeah, I guess. I thought I can just stalk Halo for a bit.
hmm. Well, what do you think about this here? Is it the best decision to make right now, or maybe it can
I
work? I'm
mean, I have
just
too distracted,
yeah
so I guess my team can win the fight over there.
yeah. So it's kind of your team goes in here, right?
Mm,
And then they might take out somebody. I don't know. Maybe the Lucio you saw that there's Zara engaging or whatsoever. Maybe they ping that as
mm.
well, and you take some attention there. Yeah. It can work. I think it's not bad for sure. The position where you set up to, really, you cannot contribute to that location as well unless you invest a lot of stuff right away. Yeah. Well, even though you invest all the blinks, it's hard to get there. You need two sets of blinks at least to get there. So it's fine that it was still. With how we still there. Well, I would just just to kind of be trying to be more cautious about this guy a little bit more. When they commit, just start to blink on the side a little bit more. Should be okay, but yeah, it's pretty complicated, I think. It's kind of unfortunate. I just don't like this that you die there because when this is about to happen, it's kind of same as before in here, kind of fully commit. But this guy's about to fight and most likely will get the 45 force, so I'm not sure entirely if it's even needed. Maybe even waiting longer. What do you think actually? What's the better value out of this fight? Okay, it
I guess
takes
I could
time
have
to
waited
load the
more.
replay. Give it a second. Yeah, sorry, repeat that.
I guess I could have waited more.
Maybe waiting more because this is something what you
Yeah.
have to explore. The problem for me is it's not that it's wrong that you're on the flank, right? You're not gonna beat into what your team does. It's kind of you do stuff and then your big defensive stuff is about to be used, but you're not there, if you put it. So maybe one way to solve that is, yeah, exactly, be patient, or if you're fighting, then you gotta fight with higher quality somehow. Yeah, this is where your blink management comes in, maybe how you use your recall, what space you're choosing, all of that stuff. Yeah, I don't want to fully commit in a space which they control. Like in here, yeah, it's you know that they're under control of this space. I'm not sure if you approach it like fully in. Yeah, stopping the point. Yeah, sure, it's can be okay, but do you need that? Distracting those people? Yes, it's what you need, but then approach it differently. Don't do it on point, but I don't know. Do it kind of somewhere around here. Don't invest too many blinks. Just keep fighting those people. Don't stop the point. Let the point be. Let it move, and you kind of win the fight, drag more resources, take longer fight, and then after that, it's a high chance that they survive here longer, or maybe even get to here instead of fully committing to the space which they control. And this is what we see. I think this is what I see, at least. Yeah, do not fully commit in a space which they control. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, let me actually put it in as well, so I'll not forget. Yeah, do not fully commit into space which they control. Yeah, the enemy control. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any questions about anything so far, or
No.
no? Okay. Do you want to look at any specific segment a little bit more? I know we're only 6 minutes in, but yeah, do you want me to focus on any point a little bit more?
I know second point. I can't quite remember this one, but
Oh, we can just watch the attack in this case. I don't
yeah.
know, so we can cover a
That was
little.
alright. Yeah.
Yeah. This defense so far, this is what we see. Maybe we can also look if there are any other patterns we notice. Okay, but so far it's a little bit of blink management, recall, and your commitment. Yeah, do not fully commit in a space which enemy is controlling, especially versus the brawl. You want to take it slow, I think, somehow. Maybe be patient or look for higher quality distractions. Just distract them longer somehow. I don't know how, but if you don't do that, then your team ends up using their defensive resources, and then you're not there, it seems, for some reason, right? So that's why timing felt off. But your flanks are good. I don't think you have to really adjust it too much, like play with my team or something, like you said. Yeah, it's okay. But the flanks are really good. Yeah, pushing the point. It can be fine. Just make sure that nobody else pushing the point, I think. Oh, do you remember? Well, do you generally speaking push the point here, or?
Yeah, I just pushed it.
Yeah, and when you push the point, what do you expect your team to do?
Oh, I'll take it off and go.
Which one?
Either left. Mostly it's the left side.
Yeah, usually people go left side, right? When you push the
Yeah.
point. So, but if your team is with you, then is it the best decision to stand point in here? What do you think?
Mm, not really. I could have just took right.
Yeah, yeah. I think do something else in here because I understand. It's what you usually see at a high elo too, right? When your team is trying to take space somewhere, well, even verticality especially, because they don't have much. I think you usually better pushing the card because you can engage the fight whenever. You can go from the card and then you can push people. You can shoot after. Yeah, your teammates they don't have as much mobility to be able to do that. But in this case, if you have people pushing the point, just look around and check. Do something else. I think maybe mark their tracer, fight their tracer on the flank. Maybe set up your own flank or something. It's kind of gonna be similar situation. By the way, you have more poke potential. They have more brawl anyway. So I think in this case, it's doable if you keep distracting them. Go from behind, keep shooting from behind, and take the longer fights in a way. Yeah. It's a little bit awkward because you have to you're forced to use a lot of resources now because your tank is with you. Just yeah, it's a lot of poke in your face. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, well, it's all right. I think. Yeah. Maybe you can. Maybe you can just try to take this HP pack somehow. But I think it's okay to wait. Honestly, you can re-engage afterwards. Get you're pretty mobile. You will have the setup I think. Yeah, you should have enough time. Mm-hmm. Okay. But inside this room, stole HP pack. That's good. Nice. And yeah, good dodge. And we are just fighting from the angle being annoying. Yes. That's looking good. Eh. Yeah, let's see what do we do after. What's our position? Where do we go? Going all the way right. Yeah, this can work. What do you think about this rotation overall?
I think it was too long.
It just takes a lot of time. I think you can do that, right? But keep this in mind.
Yeah.
Your defensive resources are what? Maybe the bubbles, maybe the lamp is about to be used based on where your team is. You can fight in this L-shaped corner. Most likely, by the time you make this, some of those defensive abilities will be used, right? And the spark of pressure goes up, and you're not there. So you just need to
I
play
think I
around.
should have just recognized the payload wasn't gonna make it in time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's put it this way. If the payload's here, I think you have enough time to make this if your team is on the point, but your team is not on the point. Your team is pushing hard, and that makes sense. They should be pushing. Yeah, they should be taking space, but then you need to also adjust accordingly. It's either if you somehow know that you can set up here faster, can work, or, well, in this case, you only have one choice, right here, and then will be alright. Yeah, I don't think you will fight with your team there. Yeah, oh well, stay with them in a way. You will be existent of playing there, so this will work better. But yeah, like this happens. Your Zauri is getting hard pressured. All these guys are pushed, and only later you're kind of engaging in, and your team might lose some value because of it. Yeah, so ends up okay at the end, but yeah, a little bit off. A little bit off was the timing because of the rotation. Now it should be good. I think now you should have enough time. You're also fighting here. Your team's pushing. Regardless, it should be okay. Yeah, notice the Reaper sneaking in. Fine. Oh, that's wait. Is it? Did you search for Reaper there or wait?
Shall I
Did he?
look for him?
Ah, yeah, they did. They disappeared
Yeah.
out. Yeah. Well, in this case, we've seen that probably just recall out or something. Well, it's kind of risky still, but it can work. Again, if you get your recall back when the fight happens, when the real fight happens, this is fine. And yeah, if you confirm the kill on the Reaper, this can also work. Yeah, you get your recall back, so it's alright. Hmm. Okay. Well, you guys are kind of rolling at this point. Yeah, I'm not sure it should be card. If you see this person staying card, I think, yeah, just move. Move on the angle, exactly. Just take your time and set up. Maybe do it faster and even better, so you can engage the fight right away. If they're actively communicating, they're saying, okay, I'm gonna take space, so maybe you tell them, take space, I'll play card, I think it's fine. Because they might benefit more out of it, right, out of taking space, so it's all good. But if not... Yeah, this looks okay. A Reaper's coming in, nice, good reading. We also should be confident dealing one-on-one with Reaper too. Wait, is it their Tracer player as well? Yeah, probably, I forgot. They just swapped the Reaper. Right. And this one is kinda... What was the assault process here, actually? So we took down the
I should have
Reaper.
just waited a bit. I should have waited a bit for a recall to come back.
Yeah. It just kinda feels a little bit unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
First off, if you look at... When you're fighting, it's sort of... Oh, might feel okay-ish, right? But Because well, okay, it's because your Zauri is fighting, but it's only Zauri. The rest of your team is around this corner. So if you're contributing to the kill zone, then you gotta wait more. You gotta wait for those people to push up more, or for your team to push up more, so they actually shoot this group of people, or wait for isolated member. Yeah, exactly. Like wait for your recall. You can even spawn camp, right? But you cannot spawn camp if you lost your resources here. If you lost your HP. So you either, I don't know, you gotta be more patient, maybe rotate this way or something if you want to spawn camp, fine. But take your time this way, or just wait here. Yeah, what do you think? Probably one of those solutions, or anything else
I
comes to mind?
could have waited or spawn camped. Either one would have been better.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. Definitely not this. Definitely not commit. If they more people, like just multiple people in their group of people, you don't want to be fighting them right away. Yeah, making sure your group of people is fighting. Yeah, it just might end up really bad for us at this point. Okay, waiting, and yeah, you can start setting up, I think. Yeah, fight the Reaper. Yeah, ideally if you can not trade the recall with them, it's even better, but yeah, it's okay. Slowly making our way through at the right angle. This is fine, and you see why this is better. You're fighting isolated target, which is low HP. So in this case, this looks better, right? Or you could be fighting this group of people too, in theory, but if there's no transcendence, because your team is fighting, well, but you need more commitment from your team, right? When the group of your team is fighting, then with the big group of people, then it's good. Or isolated like this. Good example, right there. Yeah, but before it was you fighting alone multiple people, so it's not ideal. What happened here? Well, you got this surgeon. What do you think is the play after that? Right there. Let's see. Yeah. What do you think?
I just hit back.
Back
I
where?
took
Go
your little
here?
right there. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, yeah. I say again, you're kind of fighting, not isolated people, right? They're fighting two supports.
Yeah.
So you need first off, you need to try to isolate somebody, and if you just keep this flank angles, this is just fine. Maybe somebody will try to challenge you. Maybe they will isolate themselves. You can do that, or you can contribute to this later on. You kind of get your recall back slowly as well. You might commit later on, but do not overcommit it here. They're in control of this space. Yeah, like I mentioned before, control. Yeah, what that means is the numbers of players. It's just they physically in that space already, but they're kind of fully committing right now. So it's not gonna work. You need to do something else. Slowly approach this space somehow, or maybe work with different space even. It's a little bit too much. Look really good. Looks really good most of the time, but just sometimes it's just that. Yeah, it's how you commit towards the space. Okay. Oh, it should be good. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys have so much better time. Are you gonna win this one as well? Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, decent game. It's good flank too. On defense, a lot of people don't know about this one. Right. And they didn't know about you here, but it's okay. You still can challenge the Tracer for the most part, I think, and well, this is what was the thought process here?
I thought I could like jiggle peek of it, but I guess I kind of just shot. I don't know. It's like more about the vision with me.
It's a bad position, you said?
More about the vision.
The vision, what does it mean?
If they're not looking at me, or if they are, or how close. Like,
Ah, okay. Well, so you decide to kind of commit towards them.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just not sure. Well, this position, well, it just feels a little bit awkward. Well, first off, there's better targets to fight. Second, there's just high chance. It's understandable they're not looking, so you may fight from the side, especially. But it's just so much high chance that you receive a lot of poke to you. I'm just not sure. Well, what if you fight this angle? You kind of fight your way through, but do this instead. I don't know. Isn't that better? Instead of fighting the
Could have
people.
helped my May since it was a 2v1 with the Tracer.
Yeah,
I guess.
this too. Yeah, exactly. Kind of get rid of this, and then you go here. You will usually see you play versus the brawl, and there's usually why you might receive a lot of poke. Whenever you fight the main lane, the way the point is, there's so much higher chance for you to receive a lot more pressure because generally speaking, brawl has more frontline pressure. So there's a tendency that if you do this peak, there's high chance to die. Obviously, there's only one cast in kind of Kiri there right now, but whenever you know they run brawl, you don't want to peek main too much. I think just go on the side, keep distracting them, keep pulling the attention away like you did before, and it's gonna be all right. Just keep splitting them. And fighting Trace is one of the best things you can do because they have less resources anyway. You have Orb. The Kiriko might stay with the Tracer, maybe Lucio might stay, but once they do that, then they're splitting their resources, so the rest of their brawl will suffer. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, well, that's okay. Yeah, the Trace is kind of isolated. Yeah, this is better, exactly. Like, this angle is what we're looking for. A little bit more, I think. So much better. Just going from the side and here. Well, that's why you die. You just you fully commit to this main lane. I think there's so much higher chance that you still receive a lot of poke. You just it should be keeping.
I got greedy for the kill. I just
Yeah.
wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah, because this is what happens to the brawl. They usually have a lot of sustain, right? Even though you got a
Yeah,
kill, you just need to keep playing slow. You win the slow war, regardless. You have more
yeah.
poke. It's fine. You just keep forcing out the stuff and you're good. Your the job is not kills, it's more damage and then kills, kind of. Or in a way, force out big abilities, big cooldowns first. Yeah, don't mess with the brawl. Don't overcommit it. But yeah, you still win this fight, so it's all right, kind of. Okay, let's maybe watch the attack a little bit. We're still gonna have some time. Maybe you can also watch any recent games too. It should be good. Okay. Yeah, maybe you got any questions about anything, maybe about this game or in general, about anything else as well? Or everything's been clear so far?
Everything's been clear.
Oh, okay. Let's keep watching. Okay, they're gonna spawn camp brawl. Not sure
Oh
about the
yeah, that's what
Bastion
they
pick.
did. You'll see.
Wait, why'd I play Bastion here?
I have no idea.
Well. No, I don't know. They kind of saw this, to be honest. It feels that
Yeah,
how their team, they just not committing to this brawl fight even.
it was like it was so unexpected at the end.
Why did Lucius there? Okay. Oh, this can happen, to be honest, sometimes. Usually you will need May and Lucio to stay there, though. But yeah, they kind of messed it up. So you guys win straight away. Shouldn't be too hard. That's fine. You're just making your way through, take long fights, keep deleting them afterwards. You're okay. Yeah. Well, it's not gonna do much. Okay. Well, watch the entire replay. I know we skipped this first part, but maybe we can also just through the lens of what we discussed before. It's been mainly resource management, what I focused on. So maybe, yeah, if you have any recent games, you can take a look at that one too. We have some time as well, and then we can summarize. Is it fine? Is it fine with you? Yeah. Okay. Let's. Yeah, you can just send me any codes then.
This one.
Just a little bit.
Three.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now let's put it in here and import. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, well, what about that game? What do you
Oh, that
remember?
one I I guess the last point.
The last point you want me to look at, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In general, again, difficult map because sniper map. A second
Yeah.
point is doable. But you mentioned, sorry, is it the last point again? You want to watch a second?
Last point.
Last point, okay.
Oh, like our I
Yeah.
guess when we attack,
Y-
yeah.
yeah, somewhere around here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Once you guys gonna capture. Yeah, it's soon earlier. Yeah, this point here is one of the hardest, I think, if you're playing an attack for you, because it's hard for you to close the distance.
Yeah. But I think right here was like more of the target priority.
Hmm.
Like who to go for and who to avoid. Because I started realizing I never went for the honor the whole third point there.
Yeah, well, in general, what are the good targets for you to go for? Your comp versus theirs, what do you think?
Let me see, let me see. Their Ana or their Sojin.
Yeah, I would say so overall. Maybe you can fight us somewhere on the flank too occasionally, like we do with the Tracer before. But I think probably one of the best there. You kind of go in for the dive to disrupt the backline. Maybe you get a kill, maybe not. At least you do something to disrupt, and then after that, your poor guys can follow up. That's your win condition, it seems. You
Mhm.
know, if it looks to the lens of how we viewed that before, I said your comp in the previous game, it was more about you taking longer fights, yeah, because you have more poke potential. Now it's different. You actually have more poke potential, but there's a little bit of dive too. But because you have more poke potential, that well, actually, oh, okay, no, well, it's not different. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's you have more poke potential, and they are on the other hand, have more sustain. Yeah, they have a little bit less poke. They only have Sojourn, Anna, and you only have Sojourn and Zenyatta Anna. So slightly more poke. So as long as you play for the long fight, but you're disrupting the right people there, I think it should be okay-ish for you. Yeah, you just need to set up. You just need to set up accordingly first off. If you're playing long fight, you have more time to set up ideally. So you shouldn't be here as well. You shouldn't be. They have more frontline pressure to this comp. I think you should be. I don't know. Go on the side somewhere. Yeah, like I said, if you're able to fight the Anne or something, it's really good too. But set up for it. Yeah, I don't know. Where do you think you gotta go? If not choosing. Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure this corner is gonna work the best, right? Because they turn this, they see you instantly, right? What do you think? Is there anywhere else you can go?
Oh, I think I already went. Like as soon as if you keep playing, I went like fully right.
Yeah, but do you even see this corner? That's what I want to ask. Do you even? I just
Oh
tried to
yeah.
wait
Or I could have
here.
went to the little where the little health pack is down there.
Yeah, just do it faster. That's what I mean. You kind of
Yeah.
not. You don't have to stay here. Yeah, you just try to go and set up. Yeah, play your long fight, sure, but I don't think you have to play for this. You're not gonna kill this out anyway. So it's fine if you go to the right or something. Yeah, go down. But because you do that early, you have more resources. You have your blinks, you have your recall, whatever, like HP, and it makes it easy for you to fight. And by the way, you will also challenge the Sombra most likely too early on, so it will not be as distracting like it is now when they hack you. Yeah, you need to kind of just win the map control first from them, and then after that you can decide on what to do with the rest of their team. Most likely Sombra will be on this those same angles, so yeah. Yeah, this is where you just need to set up, it feels, to be honest. I don't think you have to be here, probably. I'm not sure. Yeah, do you remember why I was staying here? Maybe your team called for something? Or, yeah, what do you remember?
I don't really usually just join VC. I just see what I see, the timing. If my doom goes in, that's when I go in.
Yeah. It's just probably if you set up and your Doomfist goes in, yeah, let's say like you don't wait here on the point even. You set up, I don't know. It might take a long time, but I think it's still more viable. If you maybe this building, maybe under you force somebody to fight you like isolated, I think maybe stuff like that. You gotta be more creative. With this map, I think you have to invest a lot of time and set up. You set up, and then your Doomfist goes in, and then you fight kinda. Now you can't kind of sit here. Otherwise, you would just go something like something else, maybe Ash or Cassidy or yeah, anything like Hitscan wise, where you're playing more stationary. Yeah, because it's understandable. This map is less possible for you to get full value on the Tracer, but you cannot exist on this main too comfortably, I think. That's complicated. They have more frontline pressure. You're not gonna do much versus them, I think. It cannot kill them too hard, yeah. Like challenging Sombra is better, generally speaking. Yeah, you start with challenging Sombra, and then you make your way through towards the backline, probably. Like you said, target priority. But you cannot get on the targets if you don't have position, right? That's exactly the thing. Well, what about here? Well, we are pushing card, no one else. This is okay in this case. If no one else doing that, sure. Yeah. That's fine. If they isolated, can follow up on that too. On the flank. Now, at this point, yeah, exactly. Like this right side feels more kind of better, more options for you to just make them split, look around, which is in your favor. Like we would do in the first map we reviewed. Just make them look around. Keep making them look around. You have more... Well, they play more brawl-oriented in a way. You have more poke a little bit, so... Yeah, I think that's what I see so far. Well, we definitely can watch more, but I just want to make sure we have enough time to summarize as well. And if you can ask any questions too if you want to. But yeah, let's just start with based on what we saw at the first game, this game too. What do you think you learned today so far? What do you need to work on based on our review?
I guess setting up more early.
Setting up more early. Okay, so this would be just set up before the fight faster. Yeah, just in the blink management. Sure. Okay. What else?
I'm guessing he was on cart, and then I can just take a different angle or more in the
Mm-hmm.
vision part.
Yeah, it's kind of niche, but yeah, you can also keep that in mind. If somebody's on card, I think you free to do something else. You just go on your angle, the something else more flankish one, and you okay. It should be fine. Also, with blink management overall, remember the first fight. It kind of some of the fights with the Cassidy. Yeah, just make sure you if this big burst character, if they know where you are, you readjust angle slightly. Yeah, you go on the sides a little bit more. So instead of exactly fighting face to face, yeah, even that defense, I think, when you was on defense, when you was fighting the main lane, it's still there's high chance because you're kind of in front of them. It's high chance to hit you, but it's better if you're on the side and behind them. Yeah, side. Yeah, go. I would call this diagonal blinks. Okay, diagonal. You fight them from diagonal instead of fighting directly behind or like in front of them. It will be always better. Okay. What else?
Uh, hmm. To be honest, I don't know really.
What about the over commitment sometimes? Remember the times when you died?
Uh, yeah,
So how you
yeah, yeah,
would
yeah.
put in?
I see what you mean right there. I guess being more chill.
Yeah, well, it just so how do you what your engagement should be based off. Yeah, what should trigger you to engage in a way. What you gotta keep in mind exactly. What are the actionable things you need to look for?
If they're not looking isolated, if they waste your cooldowns, what else? Some, I guess, whenever my tank goes in, I go in
Mm-hmm.
same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spike
So it's
timing.
yeah, it's kind of, let's call it timing with tank, and it's gonna be a time with spike of pressure. Maybe I'm just gonna call it time around defensive. Okay, time around defensive resources. That's one. Another thing is because sometimes you find like big group of people when a team is not fighting that. This is also important. Yeah, that's what you mentioned before. You need to fight isolated, or you can fight big group of people when most of your team is fighting them. Yeah, you cannot take them by yourself. Yeah, you need the resources there. If your team is not fighting that big group of people, leave them be. Like Zenyatta with the Kiriko, you alone fighting them, not good if you fully commit. Yeah, don't fully commit. Mm, yeah, let's put it this way. If you find a big group of people when most of your team is fighting, and what do we mean by that is commitment. Yeah, commitment is always the time when you kind of most likely will get your recall forced. You know, you invest most of your blinks. Yeah, this is exactly the idea. Okay. And another thing about commitment is if enemy is under control of certain area, make sure to avoid commitment. Yeah, make sure you approach the area slowly. Yeah, again, commitment. It's all about evolves around your recall. Okay, so I'll put it
Okay.
this way: commitment is about when you most likely to use your recall. Yeah, that's how I would put it. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, for the most part, I think we mentioned everything. Maybe some specifics about the brawl. Just keep that in mind. Surround the brawl more. Yeah, keep the again, do not overcommit in the sense that you need to force out more resources. But other than
Yeah.
that, it's all right. Is there anything else you think, or we mentioned everything?
I think we mentioned everything.
Yeah,
I've,
your flank control is really good. I think just the way you take the positions initially is good. Maybe do it faster sometimes. Mechanics are good. It's pretty decent, right? Just work on this stuff we talked about today. Resource management a little bit. Obviously, positioning connects to the resource management too. Something you gotta keep in mind. Yeah, set up before the fight faster, like you said, and should be fine. Invest your blinks if possible to get on the targets. Yeah, because you cannot have good target priority without setting up fully first. Okay, so I think that's good for today so far.